Hi, good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. We'll just give it a moment or two before we start, just to allow participants to join the room. You're all very welcome. Just give it one more moment. You can see people still joining. Right, so we're just past the hour, so we'll kick things off. Firstly, I'd like to welcome you all to today's CPD. Just to confuse you all, we have two Jameses today. I'm James Lonergan, Director of Education and CPD with SCSI, and joined by our speaker, James Egan. Today's CPD is being recorded and will be available on the members area afterwards. During the presentation, if you have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A, and we'll have time for questions at the end. This is part of a mini series of CPD. So part one obviously is today, and the second part is in 2 weeks' time on the 30th of April at 1 o'clock again. So do please come back and join us for part two. So just to introduce our speaker today, Dr. James Egan is a lecturer in information security at the Southeast Technological University, formerly IT Carlow since 2018. He's also the program director of the MSc in Cybersecurity, Privacy and Trust at SETU, and teaches on the Cybercrime and IT Security Bachelor's program, covering areas such as governance, risk management and compliance, digital forensics, and computer networking. James spent a decade in the Kingdom of Bahrain working at Bahrain Polytechnic, where he had roles such as head of ICT and web media and the program manager of the computer networking program. Highlights of the time in the Middle East included the setup of a countrywide AI competition with Microsoft, which has led to the establishment of an AI Academy. And James's industrial experience is related to roles as a computer network engineer. He has a BSc in computer networking and a PhD in optical telecommunications, both from SETU. James, thank you very much for joining us today, and I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, James. I don't think my mother could have given me a better build up there. So thanks for that one there. So and welcome to everybody to this session today, which is on it's part of a cybersecurity mini series. You've clicked the link. So what happens now? And I've tried to make it a little bit from the construction point of view and the chartered property, land and surveyors point of view. Yeah, as I say, just an agenda for today's session. We'll have a look at some example attacks caused by phishing, prevalence of such attacks in small and medium enterprises, then what happens if you click the phishing link and how much danger are you in, and best practice in that area. And I'm going to provide free training resources for businesses on cybersecurity and phishing. So some takeaway for you all today. As James has said there, the masterclass will focus on phishing with a cybersecurity context. Yeah, what happens if you receive a phishing email or a phishing SMS that we all receive? You click this nefarious link, you didn't realize it was a nefarious link when you clicked it. What will the hacker be able to do and see with your laptop or phone once you have clicked the link? So this session will discuss preventative measures around this so we can protect ourselves and our company organizations' intellectual property from threat actors within cybersecurity. Yeah, actually, James Lonergan did a great job of just going through all of this here. Yeah, so as I say, we have a master's degree in SETU, Cybersecurity, Privacy and Trust. We're lucky to have it Springboard funded for 4 years. So actually, anybody who wants to take this program, well, we're limited to 20 people who are funded. They get 90% of the masters paid for, and they only have to pay 10% themselves. So I suppose I've taught a lot in GRC areas, governance, risk management, and compliance. I'm sure that's a big thing from that links to your own profession, and other items they're all mentioned by James. Just with regards, then I suppose the big thing, one of the biggest days with regards cybersecurity in Irish history happened in 2001. This cyber attack on the HSE. Does anybody know how this cyber attack occurred, or what it was that happened within the HSE that allowed and I think we were all affected in some way, shape, or form if it was family members who had appointments cancelled, or family members who were working in the HSE were maybe not able to do their work for weeks on end. But I don't know, I can see the chat here. Yeah, if anybody wants to pop up, anybody any idea about how this hack occurred? I'm not sure if I'll see then the everyone here. So. And but if you haven't heard about this, well, if you haven't heard about how it hacked, how it happened was because of phishing. Okay, like the HSE, an extremely large organization with yeah, if you look here, over 130,000 staff members. So this particular report here, I have a link to this in the presentation. It was a 150-page report completed by PricewaterhouseCoopers after the incident happened. And so they detailed exactly how it happened. And yeah, so over 130,000 staff members, 70,000 devices, such as handheld devices, computers and the likes. And there was 350 IT staff within the HSE, and they had over 1,000 software applications running within various different departments. I suppose the real key day was on the 14th of, you can see in red here, the attacker executed a Conti ransomware within the HSE, happened on the 14th of May 2021. But the initial infection happened nearly 2 months previously. And what so we look here on the 18th of March 2021. And so essentially what happened was that, sorry, just get rid of this box. So the malware infection was the result of the user of the Patient Zero workstation clicking and opening a malicious Microsoft Excel file. So I'm sure we all use Excel files. We're all sent Excel files by email, and this was attached to a phishing email sent to the user on 16th of March 2021. And so so you might see sometimes when you open up a Microsoft Excel email, sometimes to a very useful feature of both Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel is macros, and you have to enable the macro content. So you'll be asked to enable content in the Excel file, and when the person in the HSE did that at this workstation 0, this allowed malware to execute. And if we go back here now, and this was the starting point of the HSE cyber attack, and they were able to the threat actor group were able to Wizard Spider, they were able to go through various different machines and affect lots of machines, install the ransomware on many servers, and then on the 14th of May 2021, they launched the cyber attack, and it paralyzed the whole HSE. So yeah, and it's interesting that it just came from a phishing email from a Microsoft Excel file, enabled content, and then and this is something that can happen in any sector, like just something from the last year. What the largest construction company in the north have been hit by a ransomware attack, and like I was looking here just today. If I click out my slides here, and sorry, just click out my slides just into my yeah, I was looking here, like what type of information did they take from sorry, how many things do I have here? Oh yeah, on this particular legal website in the UK who specialize in data breaches, we can see that the construction company in Northern Ireland had the information that was stolen from the machines was put up on the dark web, including information, passport numbers, names of pension schemes, bank details, emergency contact names, so so yeah, like, this is the kind of thing that can happen if, your company gets hit by a threat actor group. They install ransomware on machines. It could be from a Microsoft Excel macro that downloads information then onto your machine. So it can be quite scary for companies that are that are caught up in this. So if we just go back here from current slide, yeah, okay. So yeah, just that happened, I believe in the February last year, it's February 2023, a large construction company in Northern Ireland. So yeah, what happens there is that we have an email with an attachment there, the Excel file. You click on that enable macros, and then this here is a specific malware attack from 2021 where something called Drydax malware has been installed on your machine. So, and there's literally thousands of different versions of malware out there that occur weekly, and they change things slightly up. The the security companies are trying to block all different types of malware, and the threat actor groups then try to change the malware just so it can evade the antivirus software. So we've said here the cyber attack on the HSC was at the result of phishing, and phishing in 2023 was the king of compromise. So this is from an IBM research, where phishing remained the top initial access vector for security incidents last year, with more than 2 in 5 of all incidents involving phishing. So then as well, a quote from this report here, 3 in 5 of all phishing attacks were conducting through attachments. So just like the Excel file, which we saw there, enable macros, that's how they're going to get access to your system, or one of the ways. The consistent ranking of phishing as the most prevalent initial access vector underscores the need for organizations to focus on people, process, and technology. According to this lady here, Stephanie Carruthers, I was very interested why I put her picture there. Her role title is a chief people hacker for IBM X-Force Red. So yeah, interesting. You're thinking about how do you compromise people? How do you trick people? And that's how, it's not through the technology a lot of the times or hacking passwords that they gain access to your system. It's actually sending an email, a phishing email that you think is legitimate. You open it and then, oh, I've downloaded malware and possibly ransomware along with it as well. So now we're going to look at some cybersecurity surveys, and actually and this one here is going to focus in on SMEs and focusing on SMEs here in Ireland and the prevalence of ransomware here in Ireland. But yeah, I always find it difficult. A lot of the cybersecurity reports are from vendors, and these vendors sell cybersecurity services to you, and you'll get these reports that tell you some of them tell you that cybercrime is costing the world economy by 2025, 10.5 trillion. And it's kind of a lot of scaremongering going on there as well. Like 10.5 trillion, that's a lot of money, and other ones here in Ireland tell you maybe it's 10 billion here in Ireland, the cost of cybercrime, which is, it's thousands for each man, woman, and child here on the island. Is it that much? I'm not sure if it's that much. So, I'm always careful in trusting these hundreds of reports that are out there from cybersecurity companies. There's other ones from insurance companies who sell cybersecurity insurance. They're maybe trying to downplay the cost of damages and the likes. Governmental organizations such as the FBI, EU, and the UK, I would see them as more trustworthy sources of information. Maybe I'm wrong. Other people don't trust these organizations here. So a couple of reports that I use actually extensively are from the Eurobarometer, which survey number one every couple of years about 1,000 people from every country in the EU. So this one here is called European Attitudes Towards Internet Security, a very detailed report. I have the link on the next slide, which asks people, up to 30,000 people in the EU, have they been victims of online fraud, malware, ransomware, and the likes. So the latest one of that was in just before COVID in January 2020, and they have an updated one which we're going to look at now from small and medium enterprises. And yeah, a survey of over 10,000 small and medium enterprises. I'm sure a lot of you work for these enterprises. They define micro, small, and medium enterprises as enterprises that employ fewer than 250 people, and their revenue does not exceed 50 million euros. Okay, so, and there's 25 million of these SMEs in the EU, and they're the backbone of the EU economy. So we can see here, yeah, a number of questions here to these 10,000 companies, and they've kind of pro rata scaled it out to countries in the EU. So I think it's 120 Irish companies have been surveyed here, because yeah, we've got 5 million people, and there's however many people in the EU, over 700 million, you know. So if you're a large company such as Germany, you'll get more countries such as Germany, you get more of your company surveyed. So we see here, which of the following does your company currently have or use? So it says here, from an Irish perspective, 77% of companies within Ireland have a website for SMEs. They have, I know it's I've actually I'll just switch it being over here. So it also asks them, do they have a website for your business, an internet connected smart device? So these are all of these categories here. So you can see how connected the SMEs are. Yeah, the SMEs are online. So here in Ireland, quite high. So some questions here from page 18 in this report. So the link, actually, I didn't mention, yeah, the link here for this report, you can access it. It's available to you in the slides that are going to be sent out to you. So in the last 12 months, has your company provided employees with any training or awareness raising around the risks of cybercrime? It's very interesting that Ireland is the best, but only 40% of businesses provide any training whatsoever in Ireland about awareness around cybersecurity. But we're the best. 58% of companies don't, and 2% they didn't know. You can see as we go down the line here, the EU average is only 19%. And some companies, actually, look at France there. France, the second last one, only 9% of companies provide any type of cybersecurity training to their employees. Yeah, and actually it breaks down by company size there. So with your company turnover here as well, and also based on your sector of activity. So if you're in the manufacturing sector, and it does further break it down to the construction sector and the like in later pages of this report. Yeah. So yeah, what concern do businesses have in having business online? So when using the internet for business-related activities such as selling goods, are you concerned about the following risks? So Spain seems to be the highest. 71% of people in Spain, or companies in Spain, are concerned. And Ireland, only 29% are very concerned. The kind of yeah, we have dark blue is 29%. Then we have not sure what that color is, greenish. They're somewhat concerned. We have 34%, and 31% are not at all concerned with the risks, such as selling goods and online banking. Yeah, this is a key one. Has your company experienced any of the following types of cybercrime in the last 12 months? So you can see here Ireland is about 10th there on the list. 32% of companies of those surveyed had in the last 12 months. Portugal being the highest, 48%, Sweden being the lowest. And interesting then, it kind of goes and further breaks this down here. So we look at Ireland here. So with regards, 11% of companies in Ireland had experienced phishing, account takeover, and impersonation attacks. And if we look across here, we can see that ransomware had affected 8% of the 120 companies surveyed in Ireland. So we can see, yeah, one of the highest. Hungary is higher, and a few other, Czech Republic or Czechia now is also high. But you can see where Ireland ranks in the prevalence of a ransomware attack, such as what happened to the Lagan Group, what happened to the HSE. So that's about 1 in 12 SMEs have suffered a ransomware attack. And if we break this further down by the specific sector, you know, the construction sector, 4% of businesses that suffer ransomware attack. Electricity, gas, steam, and air conditioning is 9%, one of the highest. Water supply, storage again is at 4% as well. So, but the threat actor groups, because electricity, gas is often run by governments and the likes, they tend to target that more and more. And you've seen in the US lots of large oil companies have ransomware attacks that are costing them tens of millions a day, So we can see here from this EU cybersecurity report the type of the prevalence of ransomware. Within both the construction sector and other sectors here as well. Yeah, and it was kind of this. I'm just going to move myself over here as well so we can see it. So in 2012, actually 11 years ago, I wrote a module called Ethical Hacking, and it was to be included as part of a degree program, and it needed to be approved by the module approval committee. But actually, the module's name was rejected. And ethical hacking. I guess they didn't agree with that particular term here. And essentially, with an SATU, the module here is called penetration testing. So you teach the students how to break software or compromise software, or or how to do the same on computer networks as well. So now, when you're attending these modules on ethical hacking, every student needs to be aware of both the legal and ethical ramifications of conducting hacking. So when we're doing it, we only do it on test environments, on sandbox environments. So a sandbox environment is something we call a virtual machine. So I can have Microsoft Windows or Linux installed in a piece of software. I can run tests on that, and if some malware is run, I can just delete the machine. It's in a sandbox environment, and I'm under much less threat than if I'm running it actually on my own desktop. Not 100% of the risks are mitigated, but 99% of the risks are mitigated by doing this. So the virtual machine can be raised, and no production environments are touched. Yeah, and students typically sign agreements when undertaking these modules at universities to ensure they're fully aware that the only sandbox environments, you never do this on actual companies' machines or websites or anything like this, because we have laws here in Ireland since 2017. You can go to jail for doing that kind of thing. So one of the things that the students are get exposed to is a piece of software called the Browser Exploitation Framework. So this is an open source tool designed to enable an attacker to use a target's browser, such as your machine or my machine, as an attack point or beachhead. So this tool is designed to hook web browsers such as your Chrome, your Internet Explorer, your Firefox, and use them for launching direct command modules and further attacks against the system from within the browser. So it's this particular, it can be downloaded from thebriefproject.com. And you can see here, just on the screen here now, a specific Firefox browser. You can see where hooked browsers is. A Firefox browser has been hooked, and it's very, very easy to do something like this. So there's an operating system called, most of us use Windows operating systems. There's free Linux operating systems there that kind of the tech community use, and they can download this. It's been downloaded millions of times, something called Kali Linux, and this beef exploitation framework comes pre-packaged into this particular operating system, Kali Linux. So yeah, why am I showing you this? Because this particular platform here is going to display to us. So if you click the phishing link, this is what could happen. Okay. So let's say if you get an SMS, it has a phishing link in it, you click on that. Or if you have an email from somebody you think is legitimate, it could be from Amazon or something. So you're waiting on a package, they say it's delayed, you click on it, and oh my God, I just see it's a spoof website or something like this. So actually this particular video here from somebody, it's actually been viewed 3.7, actually 3.8 million times in the month since I've taken this screenshot. So he goes through a scenario whereby he sends and I do have it here. Actually, the audio doesn't work on the Zoom here. So, but it's something you can watch here, whereby um, he says, I hacked my wife's web browser, and in 15 minutes, anybody can learn how to do this. It's been viewed nearly 4 million times there. And so it's very easy to create a phishing link, to create a website that tries to trick people into submitting and their passwords on a website, and then for you to receive via using something called the Beef Exploitation Framework passwords, and to upload software that can be used to crypto lock your machine. So he goes to so he something for you to look at anyway, but he sends it through to his wife, an email, and say, hey honey, click on this link here, and then she clicks on the link, and then this Beef Exploitation Framework has hooked her web browser, and everything that she does now on her web browser, we can see, and we can see all of her passwords and everything like this. So it's something here that yeah, and I have a few screenshots of this here. So for me, if I'm the bad guy, the hacker at the back end, I get to log into the B framework here, and I get then to I can create a web page here. So a web page that they come with is a butcher's website. It's you can change the website, and so you can send this to somebody here, and then if they try to order something, put in credit card information or anything like this, they really like to look at the meats. In reality, you're not going to use this website, but it's just an example here. And so if somebody is interacting with this, if you send it to somebody and they're interacting with this web page, then this is what the hacker sees in the background. They see your IP address, the 172.16.140.1, and they also see here all the information about your computer, your web browser, but also then they have lots of features here to install software on your machine now that you have connected up to them. And also you can send information to the person, such as, oh, click on this link for software updates, but also any information that they enter, such you can see burner.hackwell@gmail.com, any passwords or information that you enter on the websites that has been sent via the Beef Exploitation Framework. Yeah, you can see here super secret password. You can see every keystroke and for every hooked browser. So this is an example of, if you click on the link, then if your browser is hooked, yeah, the hacker can see pretty much everything that goes, that all your keystrokes, and they'll be sent to that particular person. So what to do if we click the link? Is it an absolute disaster? So actually, links are generally not malicious on their own. So when clicking on any unknown links can be dangerous. It is difficult to design a phish that works just by clicking the link and the link alone. Most links take you to a usually fake page that will ask for certain credentials. So as long as you close the page after you click the link, you're probably fine. Not absolutely guaranteed, but it's still a good idea to change your password for whatever service the phishing link was trying to access. If you click the link that downloaded a file, delete that file. Generally, these files aren't harmful unless they are opened when downloading. If you open them just like the Microsoft Excel file, and you enable the content, that's when the danger will happen, So there are cases where malware can be downloaded directly after clicking the link. Running an antivirus scan can determine if anything harmful has been downloaded. So if you click the phishing link and have provided credentials to a service, make sure you change the password for that service immediately, because time is of the essence there. It's if they change your passwords, your contact information and the likes, yeah, that is going to be it can be a big problem for you. Most websites though, so when logging into websites with sensitive information such as a bank, it's best to bookmark the site and not visit the site directly each time. And visit that site directly each time from the bookmark. That way you know that the website you're using is a real one. an example, actually, an example isn't, I'm sure we all get the M50 toll messages to our emails, and actually it nearly caught me. I thought I was getting sent phishing emails from the M50 phishing emails recently. And it turned out that actually my credit card had expired on the M50 that I was using for my M50 tag. And I was a day away from a court appearance, like, so actually sometimes you can be overcautious with your looking at, emails and the likes. And we're going to look at some practical activities. We're going to do some practical examples of phishing, phishing training in a few slides time. So yeah, so best to visit the site directly yourself. Don't click on the link. Something that is key. I know it's a nuisance. It takes an extra 20 seconds when you go to a website, but if you enable two-factor authentication, this is perhaps the best thing you can do to protect your sensitive accounts. Even if somebody gets your Facebook password or Google password, and to type it in, you'll get an alert and you can shut them down with the two-factor authentication. So more and more websites that deal with sensitive information will allow you to use your phone number or an authentication app such as Microsoft Authenticator to ensure that you have that extra layer of protection. So unless somebody gets both your passwords and your two-factor authentication device, such as your phone, they won't be able to access your phone. So this is one of the best ways we can protect ourselves. Ensure you have a backup email or a phone number connected to your primary email account so that you can recover that access if you're locked out. Additionally, make sure your recovery methods are as secure as your primary email login. So something we're going to do a little bit of practice here now, and we have this great free resource called the cybersecuritymonth.eu. So this is free training developed by the EU. They've spent millions on this. They have a big budget. And if we click on this here, we will see actually on the second page here, they have a whole toolkit. And so this particular toolkit here was from October 2023, and it changes every year. So they'll have new, they'll have new training resources and the likes for 2024 when October comes around. So they have actually the campaign slogan, the big one here was "Be smarter than a hacker." And if we visit their website, we can see here. Yeah, if we visit their website, and just the Zoom is blocking off the top here. So we have the EU Cybersecurity Month. They have lots of activities and lots of free material for any business to use. So they have their campaign resources, which clicks into this particular toolkit. They have an entertaining quiz, test your knowledge and identify. We're going to be doing that quiz now in a couple of minutes. And they have lots of fun, supposedly fun videos and the likes. So the campaign material, if we go back to this, if we go through here, they have their main video, which is like a snazzy, you can't hear this audio. I think it's it's probably a good thing you can't hear the video because it's it's kind of like a rap video on being smarter than a hacker and the likes. It's but obviously they had a big budget and they had to spend it. So so what I would like us to do now in the coming minutes now is I want us to do some there's actually 3 different phishing quiz training. Okay, so the first one here is called phishingquiz.withgoogle.com. So something that the Google developers have developed. I can put it here in the chat for everybody. And something to you can try yourself right now. So this is the first one we're gonna look at. Okay, and so the way this operates here is actually put it up here myself. So we can just take this quiz here. So it's from and actually when you put in a fake name here, and we'll say Steve at abc.com or something like that. They only need your email address there to create like a a a, a realistic simulation. Okay. So what it is here is you're going to get examples here of emails, and you can actually interact with the email. So this is the key thing. All the links work, and you've to see, is the link here that is being sent, is it a phishing link or is it a legitimate link? So yeah, this first one here, I'm looking at HTTP drive at double-google.com. So drive double-google that doesn't look too real to me. So that would be a phishing. And the great thing is it's going to show you, okay? Moving over the link or using a long press will allow you to goes to the insecure imitation drive double-google.com. Okay. So it's going to tell you, so there's 8 particular emails there. And so yeah, go through all of them now. And then we're going to move over to the EU Cybersecurity Month. Okay. So a little bit of a practical exercise on James and Grace, maybe you can tell me if people can gain access to that link in the chat. Hopefully everybody can. And then maybe they can I suppose the last stage is going to be interactive over the next 10 minutes or so. So maybe, James, people can post up what they got out of 8 on spotting phishing quizzes and phishing phishing or legitimate emails. Okay. Let me give it a try yourself, James, and we'll quiz you on it then.
Great. Yeah.
No pressure,
link is working for me okay anyway. So yeah, you can post in the Q&A or the chat how you get on. I'll give it a go myself.
Yeah, do. Yeah. So yeah, it'll take you 2 or 3 minutes. And then also then as well, we're going to have another couple of so once you do that one, we'll also, from the EU Cybersecurity Month, so they come up with kind of like a new quiz every year. Okay, so I'm going to put in the one for the one for 2022 and the one for 2023 are going to be there as well. So I'm going to post them. So when you're finished the first one here, there's another, the one from this Cybersecurity Month quiz is here. So I'll post that link up here as well. And you might also want to have access then to the material from, yeah, I'll also put up the package here from the Cybersecurity Month. So I'll also put up this one here. I know this will be sent to you all. Just want to copy that. Yeah, so yeah, this toolkit here. Okay, so 3 different resources here. And yeah, something that you could send out to your staff members and the likes, just to do this particular PDF document here, just some free training. Yeah, maybe not every company has access to a big budget to be able to do, and something like this and getting involved with the EU Cybersecurity Month, which takes place in October every year, can prevent, disaster happening to your business. An Excel file being open, a macro being run, and then all of a sudden all your construction documents are crypto locked and you don't have backups for the latest ones or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So give them a go, and let's see how you all get on. So we'll see then. And maybe James, then once you're finished and people begin to feedback, we've got some information in the chat then. Oh yeah, just from Grace then. If anybody wants to post up their scores, that would be great. Yeah, so the second one here is actually a fax, there's probably who gets a fax anymore. But we can see here then it's when we roll over efahosting.com, mail.ru, anything from RU from Russia these days. So again, we can see this second one here, a phishing email. Show me, it says correct. Yeah, efax.com is misspelled from the efax here. The third one, oh, it's, hey, do you remember this photo? Again, you roll over the photo. It's from Google Drive. It looks to be drive.google.com, but then it's got all this extra information, download -photo.sytez.net. More than likely, we don't recognize this particular domain. So again, it's phishing. It says correct, show me. It's not Google Drive, it's actually sytez.net. So that's the third one. This particular one from Dropbox then. So we look at it, we're going over all the links. Seems to be Dropbox. So this one here, obviously if you don't use Dropbox, it would be something you might say phishing. But this one here looks like a legitimate one to me. Yeah, legitimate, am I right? Yeah, correct, okay. So they're not all spam, okay? Fourth one, we get an email from a school and so on and so forth. I think this one here, it looks okay, but then the Westmount Day School.org. This one here, maybe I remember this one here was actually a phishing one. Kind of looks legitimate. If you showed him, the from address is slightly different than what you've seen in the past. Westmountschool.org, not westmountdayschool.org. See, it's a little bit different. So be careful when opening PDFs, especially if you don't expect them. Yeah, okay, wow, somebody has my password. I want to change my password immediately. This particular one here, myaccount.google.com, and then we have all this extra information there afterwards. Yeah, they're not always trying to help you. And typically you should log in to your Google directly yourself, not click on the link. This one here, then a phishing. And if we look why, the sender address google.support isn't used by Google when we roll over that particular link. Okay, so yeah. Anybody getting any scores there, James?
Yeah, we have a 6 out of 8, a couple of 7 out of 8s. I got a 7 out of 8 myself. The Westmount School one got me.
Yeah, it got me as well first time, I have to say, so it's some of them can be, if they fool, so
It's an 8
okay.
out of 8.
Yeah,
Don't do
okay.
about that.
And the other ones there. So what I would like you to do then is just to move on to the second link there from the EU Cybersecurity Month. Again, it'll be a fresh one every year. And this one here, actually, I think there's a few more legitimate ones in it, so it's, have a look at that one there. And again, it's something that your members can do in their own time and leverage this particular type of training resource and maybe, enroll in the announcements and the emails that they get. I think there's you can sign up on the website there, and then it happens October every year, and then your staff, your members will have some amount of cybersecurity training, very high quality resource. Millions are spent on them, so it's they want to do that over the next few minutes then. And then I'm not sure yourself, James, that's all I have then for if you have any questions or anything like that, if your members have any questions.
Yeah, we have a few questions, so I could run through those maybe while people
Yeah.
are taking a look at the ECSM one.
Yeah.
So they're really good resources, as you said. The well, Ireland are ahead of the game in terms of training. There's still clearly a lot more to be done, and these kind
Yeah,
of
like,
resources, like
and
you
it's
should,
probably
it's a few
a,
minutes.
a lot of it due to the HSC cyber attack. You know, it was front and center. We all saw the effects that it, crippled their health service. So after that, a lot of companies put a lot of money into, you talk to any of the cybersecurity vendors, like, their customer base tripled, quadrupled in nearly a week after the HSC cyber attack. So that's, I would say, a lot of that due to such a high profile incident here in Ireland, and maybe the other countries haven't had such a big attack on their health service or other type of infrastructure. Yeah, go ahead, James. Any questions
Um,
there?
yeah, we have a few interesting questions. One is around mobile phones. Actually, is there a misconception that mobile phones are more secure than laptops? I think there may be in terms of the kind of WhatsApp messages you see increasingly going around now as well.
Yeah, and definitely, like, you get a lot of links through WhatsApp. Let's say the iOS, it has had a lot. It's more difficult to Apple phones more difficult to breach than and the software underlying it than a Samsung phone, which uses the Google operating system there. So it depends on very much the phone. The Apple operating systems, Apple Macs, have much less security vulnerabilities than the Windows operating systems, and then the Google operating systems that are used by most other vendors, such as Samsung and Huawei and the likes. So definitely um, they're equally as vulnerable. Yeah, it's if you get a link and a phishing link, if you click on that, that can download all sorts of like the Play Store there. Most of the apps there that come through the Play Store are fully, they're checked for safety, but ones can get through absolutely that aren't fully legitimate. And if you download the wrong app, yeah, you can your phone can be crypto locked for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a question there in the chat about can you run a check on your laptop to see if there's malware on it and the software you use with
Yeah.
it?
Well, I suppose any of the there's literally 50 antivirus companies out there, your Nortons, your Sophos, so those companies specialize in daily finding out what the latest malware is, and then you can run that. Now you do have the free ones that are out there from Avast and the likes, and they do stop some amount of malware and some amount of I suppose, dodgy software from being installed on your machine. But yeah, so it's the antivirus software that is going to detect if there's malware on your machine that's either eavesdropping on you or is potentially, you know, uh, a ransomware piece of software that's maybe they like to gather as much information from you as possible, leave it there undetected for months and years, and then they're gathering information from you. So it's not like they'll always crypto lock your machine straight away. They might keep it there for a long time.
The question around IP addresses, which I think as you can nearly describe it as like a postcode for the device you're using.
Yeah.
And in terms of your location, can that be used to determine your location? I don't think you can get someone's exact location, but it could be used to kind of get a good idea where you are, and that with other
Oh,
information could kind of pinpoint you, couldn't it?
yeah, absolutely. And I suppose that like they don't really need to know where you are. They just need to they might have pinpointed specific companies because they want to gain access to employees who so they'll send an email from you, James, okay? And they'll know actually that they specifically want, let's say, details that are specific for your sector, the chartered surveyors, let's say, and they want to get information from that particular. So they'll craft a spear phishing email pretending to be from you that looks a lot like the emails that you send, and that's how they kind of selectively pick if they want to gain access to the secret sauce from a big pharmaceutical company. They'll target all their employees, and then if the employees then click on the link. They'll download the malware, download the ransomware, and then they possibly will have access to the secret sauce that's worth billions to these companies. You know, the patents and the intellectual property that they're trying to protect.
Yeah. We have another question here, which it might be more an employment law one, but can an individual be held responsible if they click on a link or attachment?
I don't think. Well, if you're in a company and um, let's say let's say employees have clicked on a link, a large company should have safeguards in place that, you know, have you provided training to your so let's say if there's a big breach, let's say on and um, you know, all your customer data is stolen, and the data protection office there are brought in and they investigate your company. They will look at what due diligence, how you try to protect uh, your customers, and with GDPR, all your customer data needs to be protected in a specific way. And let's say if it's information that's very sensitive, such as their health or credit card information, that all needs to be encrypted. So it all depends on, like, let's say if your company isn't doing any of that, and now if an employee, let's say, is bringing home lots of data on their personal laptop that they shouldn't be bringing at home. In that particular instances, you know, they could get in trouble, like, you know. So it's so that laptop, you know, your organization needs to provide you with a laptop that's secure and that has all checkpoints, and it has all you know, protection measures to protect you, because, you know, we all click on a link from time to time, and you're saying, God, what, you know, you can just be thinking, it can happen to anybody, like, you know. So, but yeah, if you click on that link and you have all information that you shouldn't have on your home machine, that might get you in trouble. Yeah, that's what I would say. And yeah, so the companies have specific policies in place to protect their employees.
Yeah, I know from personal experience in a lot of organizations, if you're bringing a laptop home, they'll have BitLocker, which you have a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
keyring that generates a code, so you can only use that to log into the machine. So there's loads of features like that that are.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
companies need to do this, because otherwise they're just, yeah, it's only a matter of time. You know, you can have lots of near misses. Like if you say if you have encryption turned on and somebody loses the laptop on a train, you know, and leaves it there, you know, it's not a big issue. It's a if it's completely encrypted, but if it's not and everything is there, you know, you might hit front page news, you know.
yeah, exactly. I think we've time maybe for two more quick ones. One just in the chat there around device specific to Apple computers need antivirus. I heard they're safe from hacking.
Yeah, actually, there has been a few new. It's a lot safer, those devices, than, let's say, Windows, and and I'm not an Apple Mac user myself, so I'm not up to date with the latest of it. But I have known there's been a few new ones for Apple machines that they're not completely impenetrable. But I think if your members here all practice good hygiene, you know, it's kind of like you're not going on to dodgy websites and downloading. There's a strong correlation between using software that's um, that's breaking copyright and ransomware. So that's one of the main ways that you can get ransomware on your machine. So if you're practicing safe practices and safe cyber hygiene, you know, you're a lot less likely. And definitely Apple Macs, you know, they have a lot less security holes in them than Windows machines. Yeah. So you're a lot protected, not fully protected, but if you're bringing an Apple with safe cyber hygiene, I think you're in great shape.
Yeah, but best not to assume. Nothing's
Yeah,
foolproof.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Last one then again, it's another kind of fairly specific one. In Outlook, you can single click on an attachment to preview it. Is that a safe way of looking at an attachment, or if you're not sure, should you just
Yeah,
steer clear?
haven't used that particular feature, but, you know, if you're clicking on something, y- you know, if you're launching something, it does it. the best thing you can do is just roll over the link and just and then just see on the bottom, is the link what it's advertising to be. If it's not, don't click on the link. If it is, then you're safe to click on the link. So it's important to do that, roll over just like you're doing in a lot of those activities. I have it up here now. I see google.com AMP, but there's a tiny URL in it. Tiny URL is used to hide. It's used to hide a different part of URL. So if there's something in the link that you're not sure about and it has lots of information past the slashes, then you're kind of yeah. It can be dodgy. And there are websites then that you can check URLs on. Actually, something I probably should have put it in. So there's like website checkers that you can copy and paste your URL just to see if it's used by ransomware groups or the like. Drawing a blank of an exact one here now to give you, but yeah, I know lots of the cybersecurity companies use them.
Right. Okay. I think we're pretty much out of time. If there's any follow-up questions we didn't get to today, we can revisit in a couple of weeks' time in part 2 of the
Exactly.
series.
Yeah.
So do make use of the resources in the chat there. We'll share them with you all as well. Great tools for staff training, as you said, James. So thank you very much for that.
Okay.
And thanks everyone for your time and attention today. Look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, thanks, James. Thanks to you, Grace, and thanks to all your members there.
All the best. Bye now.
Bye now.